Good morning, everybody. It is February 4th, and we are back down in the winter. Yesterday we were mid-80s, and this morning we're a little cooler. Well, good morning, y'all. So, kind of give you guys an update. This turkey right here, the Tom, he was the one that got hurt over the cold spell. You can see him kind of raising his leg up. He has rebounded. He's walking around now. And yesterday we had opened up the bronze pens to let him out because it was such a gorgeous day. And he's flying. That's a good thing. So he's able to get up and roost. So when we opened up the bronze pen, a female hen went over to be with him. So she has chosen her mate, and they don't realize they're all going back into the same pen because we're not going to have two pens of bronze. So she jumped the gun. She didn't get along with the other hens. So it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to go through. We got to get everybody fed. And placed in the paddocks. And it's also hay day. So it's everybody out there. These are the adults. Last night we just stayed into the 50s. So in our feeders here, we have dog food, corn, goat food, and two types of chicken feed. We use a 20% egg layer pellets for the chickens, and then we have a 20% Coal Creek, which is not a sponsor, but it's a more generic type of feed for the turkeys. It's a larger pellet, so they eat it better than the chickens do. The chickens don't like it at all. And if the girls ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So this is for the baby goats. I would have their food poured already, but when I do that, they all just go to one container at a time. When I pour it, when they're released, then they go to each container as they should, and everybody eats their fair share. So I'm going to go up the ladder here, and I'm going to pull down a bale of hay. I have to do this before I let the goats out, or they'll get up under the feet and the hay could hit them, hurt them. So we've learned this the hard way of pulling that hay down first before turning them loose. And we have a hay loft up here, and the ladder gets put back up so that the goats don't knock it down. So as I head around and get everybody else fed, well, the adult goats, we'll just leave the camera here and let you guys enjoy watching the babies eat. So they're getting big. We have 3 smaller ones that we've been keeping an eye on, making sure that they get the proper feed. We have Little Tex, Florida, and Huzzy. And they are our 3 smallest. And we've been keeping an eye on them, making sure they're eating adequately, and they're doing okay. They have good appetite on them. They're drinking, so we do believe the disbudding process is causing some discomfort on them. It might be giving them headaches. We have been cutting down slippery elm and placing it in the stalls, or not stalls, the paddocks with them, so that they can strip the bark of it. Slippery elm is a natural, it has a, what is it called? A slight pain reliever, similar to aspirin, so that will help with some of the discomfort or pain issues that they may be encountering.
Bringing rain and the cops came again. We were staying up late despite the neighbors' complaints, playing records. We lit a fire out back. I got a bit high, so I passed out inside till the sun rise. Why do I know what this is for? You gotta let me in on the secrets whenever I lay down to sleep. I don't remember my dreams. Why am I so fucking bored? You gotta give me something to work with. Why can't I stay up on my feet? Feels like I'm stuck on repeat. More than fighting again with the landlord. These doors never close and the ceiling is cracked and it's filling with mold. I can't live here anymore. I want to explore. Why don't I know what this is for? You gotta let me in on the secrets whenever I I don't remember my dreams. Why am I so fucking bored? You gotta give me something to work with. Why can't I stay up on my feet? Feels like I'm stuck on repeat. We were always on the outside, staring through the window, seeing what it looks like. Now we're here, we're sat in a room. There's some guys wearing suits, they're trying to read us the rules. Why don't I know what this is for? You gotta let me in on the secrets whenever I lay down to sleep. I don't remember my dreams. Why am I so fucking bored? You gotta give me something to work with. Why can't I stay up on my feet? Feels like I'm stuck on repeat.
go when we're done. We go on out. That's all you can do. Paper plate. Get out of there. Get out of there. Ain't nothing in there for you but trouble. Let's go. Let's go out. Come on. Swing this around. Go. Go. So I picked up my wire cutters. I just gotta go get the dolly. Actually, no, I don't. I just gotta pick the hay up. I can do this one-handed. And we got it. So everybody knows it's hay day. Especially that one, a yachada. to the next grouping. One good thing about hay here in Oklahoma are these baling wires they use. We use those all over the homestead. All we do is roll them up, we hang them up in the barn, just pull them out as we need them. If you're out on the homestead, you know you always need wire. So, through our powers of observation, we chose, in our choosing, to split one bale of hay per paddock. The reason for that is they go through a full bale equally, or I should say the same amount of time as they go through a half bale, and most of it ends up on the ground. Now I do put them through a 1 to 2 day period where they have to clean up. We force them to clean up their mess whenever they do that. And they don't like eating off the ground, and it's not good for them, but it gets the job done. I guarantee it. So one of the additions that we've done out here, we turned this stall into a storage pen, and we keep our extra bales of straw in there, and my in-laws given a deep freeze that went out on them, and so we're able to store our extra food in it instead of storing it in the Toyota, and that has helped quite a bit. When we go get feed, all we have to do is back up. Now it only holds 10 bags of feed. Unfortunately, we get anywhere from 14 to 16 when we go to the feed store. But hey, every little bit helps. We figure when it runs its course, as for this purpose, we'll dig a hole, stick it in the ground, and it'll become a root cellar for whenever we start growing potatoes, carrots, things that need that extra cool in the summertime. Some summertime. All right, so that's that. We got everybody fed. Now I'm just gonna go through, I'm gonna water everybody. I do their food first, and while they're occupied with that, I'll come through and get their feed. It's hot, it's warming up. It has gotten warm. You babies are okay on water? I could use a little. Cletus and his girlfriend are okay on water. We're gonna have to find a name for her. She's a sweet girl. So we learned the hard way to keep their water away from their roost and up against a wall. We were constantly have to clean out that water container at least twice a day. They would use it as a bathroom. Actually, I don't know what they were doing in it. I don't know if they were standing in it, bathing in it. Who knows? Crazy birds. I am a bit winded. Getting over something. I've done had it now for over a month. So we just got the chickens to water, and we got the goats too. Now the goats, I gotta go get another bucket. She's out there snorting at me. She ain't happy. Oh, little freeloader ain't happy. What's the matter? You want your own? Yeah. So we jokingly call them a freeloader because they aren't being bred this year. We're taking a year off, which will turn into a year and a half. It's too late to get a buck now. If we get a buck now, we could have, let's see, it's February, March, April, May, June. We could have June or July babies, and that would throw everything off, our whole system out here. So we still didn't get a buck, but that's okay because we kind of determined not to breed them, to take the year off for everybody. You know, breeding too much, there's always the hypothetical of what if we don't sell them? What if nobody's wanting lamancha milking goats? You know, everybody seems to be wanting Nigerian. So we have to look at it from the aspect of what can we manage and what can we maintain out here without overstressing the land and overstressing ourselves. We are a part of the equation too. So I'm sure they enjoy it. It's they get to enjoy the winter and spring instead of being knocked up with a baby on their teat. So and plus we get to reconnect and we really get to bond with the babies. You know, we have 10 of them down there, and it makes it kind of difficult to get bonded with them and to get them used to us. But we're managing. It's happening slowly but surely. And I got my favorites out of the 10. It's the 2 runts. She was born on the day of the eclipse, and she's a little runnish. She's small. We chose to leave the 2 smallest ones with their horns. We didn't dehorn them. They kind of need it for defense. They get pushed around pretty hard, and so we left them with their own little natural defense mechanism. But the older ones, the bigger ones, they're rough. They with the disbudding, it should calm their tempers a bit, and that takes 4 to 6 weeks for that to occur. I'm sorry, 6 to 8 weeks for that to occur, and it can be pretty bad. We've made some bandages. We are preserving yarrow as I find patches of it. That will help. That will instantly stop the bleeding. We could use a commercial product, but in doing that, that means we have to go to a farm store to do that, and we really push to be self-sufficient and do our own remedies out here. So yarrow has come in very handy in that. We have plenty that's growing out here because we're disturbing the soil constantly, and it just follows the tracks of where the soil gets disturbed. And so it's fairly easy to preserve, and it seems to be an evergreen for the most part. We have green patches coming up all around the trailer, the compost area. The goats don't really eat it, thank goodness. They will eat it if they're forced to eat it, but they don't. They're not really forced to eat anything out here except hay and their feed. And so that's done. We got everybody watered. Like I said, I gotta get another 5-gallon bucket for the water for the goats. That little container holds 50 gallons. They're down to about 20 gallons right now. It's overcast right now and drizzly, so I'm not gonna worry about filling it just yet. They have plenty. So I guess the next project is to get inside and get started making jewelry. I've been in the process of making jewelry since we got snowed in, and well, actually since January 1st. So my goal is to make a board a week, and I am behind 4 boards. I'm behind 4 weeks on that, so I haven't got a board done a week. So yeah, well, there's other things though. There's other pressing things. There's the nothing's really on TV, so went and bought a couple of new books that we've been delving into. There's some future projects that we got to do inside. We got to build a bookshelf for downstairs. We got to finish the walls upstairs. We got to put a ceiling in the utility room and kitchen. So it never ends. We just culled this past weekend. We culled our roosters. We have a new 5 that's taken over that pen. So that gave us about, out of 9 roosters, we got around, they were about 2 pounds apiece. And we went through and quartered them. We skin our roosters. We don't boil and scald. Neither one of us are big on skin or frying. We don't really fry chicken. We use it for other things, for shredding, which makes it easier to freeze. Dumplings, noodles, all kinds of soups, wild rice and chicken soup. We make our own stock. And someone had said, well, you need that skin on it, for the collagen and the fats. When you make your own stock, you generally skim the fat off anyways. Every process that I've seen that you make stock, chicken stock, you always skim the fat off of it. So we don't save the skins. We do other things with them. I'm going to be in the process. We've already made our own blood meal. Yesterday, like I said, we got up to mid 80s, and that really dehydrated the blood and coagulated it and just made it into a solid. So I'm keeping an eye on that. We have it covered. We haven't had to worry about flies. It's been cold. So we generally do our culling in the wintertime because of that reason. We didn't get a smokehouse built to be able to smoke some, but that's okay. There were other pressing matters. So we just stuck them all in the deep freezer for now, and went through and quartered them. Like I said, we got leg and thigh quarters, breast, and a full gallon bag of wings that we'll be able to use for something. So it's been exciting. So I have a 5-gallon bucket full of feathers and skin that I have to boil down. I've been trying to find a way to make feather meal, and it's really interesting. Since the industrial age, we've really given up a lot of ancestral knowledge, and we've gone by way of machine to do our work for us, which is easier. It less time consuming, so we were able to move on and do other things. But I'm not mechanically inclined myself, so I can change oil, I can change a tire, I can fix a bent rod on a lawnmower. What I can't do is make something out of nothing with mechanical parts. There are some people out there that can. More power to you. So because of that handicap, I should say, of not being mechanically inclined, I have to go back further, pre-industrial, to figure out how to do things. And one of those things is feather mill. Everything I was coming across was you got to have a special machine to make feather meal, and I just find that hard to believe. I believe the machine cuts your work in half and makes it less daunting. But it was even like making the blood meal. Everybody was saying, well, you need to dehydrate it. It needs to go in the oven, and for a fast process, sure. But the sun is amazing, and the heat just really got in there and extracted and evaporated the liquids out of it, and left the plasmas and the everything else, the solids that was in it. And through that process, it's in a cookie sheet that we had picked up at a flea market. It had a little rust on it, and so we figured that would be perfect for outside things that we got to work with. And so we spread it thin on a cookie sheet, and we let the sun dehydrate it, and within 2 days it was already all the liquid. It's still a little gummy. It's not completely dried, but that's okay. Whenever it completely dries, we'll grind it up, and that will go into a little container to be used for our potted plants. And a little bit goes a long ways with blood meal. Everything that I was seeing was saying boil it and cook it down, and then after that's done, then dehydrate it. And I just feel like the boiling process, you lose so much nutrients through that process. So by doing the sun dehydration, we should have a stronger, more potent blood meal because of that. For the feathers, it's going to be a little bit of a process. We need to pick up an old pot. I'm just going to add some water to it, maybe about a half gallon of water, fill the thing full of feathers, and start simmering them and breaking down that feather to a point that it can be put in a grinder, a food processor, or something of that nature, and to get a powder form out of it. And that will be our feather meal for our potted plants as well. And well, that's just some of the processes, some of the things we have going on out here. And I would show that, but just out of respect for our food and everything, I didn't. But just mainly to give an update on Mr. Cletus. He's doing good, and he's bounced back out of it. Like I said, he's standing, flying. He's able to roost now and able to fight back. That's the main thing. They would have killed him, no doubt, if we would have left him in there. And so he spent 3 days inside, and then he came outside to the barn to his own stall, and he's ready to get back with everybody. And I actually think he's ready to have his own stall, but that's not happening. No single bird's going to get a stall unless they're injured or about to be culled. So, all right. Well, we hope you're having a good day. And if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to the page. That helps us a lot. And we appreciate you coming along with us on our journey and experiencing some of our world out here. And we look forward to seeing you next time. We'll see you later.